Hi there. In this video, we explain how to file a VAT return step by step in the UK in 2026.
Hello and welcome. If you're running a business here in the UK, you know that getting your head around your tax obligations is, well, it's absolutely essential. In this explainer, which has been put together by the tax advisors over at Fairview Accounting Services, we're going to walk you through a clear, step-by-step guide on how to file your VAT return for 2026. The goal? To help you handle UK tax compliance with a bit more confidence.
Okay, so let's start with a situation I'm sure many of you can relate to. Your business is doing great, sales are up, things are moving, which is fantastic. But with that growth, a new question starts to pop up. When do I need to start dealing with VAT? It's a moment that every successful business owner hits, and trust me, getting the timing right is so important.
So, here it is, the magic number. As of 2026, the mandatory VAT registration threshold is £90,000. Now here's the crucial bit, and it's something that catches a lot of people out. This isn't based on your annual accounts or your tax year. Nope. It's your turnover in any rolling 12-month period. That means you've got to be checking your total sales at the end of every single month, and then looking back over the last 12. It's a small detail, but it's a big deal.
Right then. Before we jump into the nitty-gritty of filling out the forms, it's really important that we get the fundamentals down first. Once you understand what a VAT return actually is, the whole process just makes so much more sense.
The easiest way to think of a VAT return is like a regular report card you're sending to HMRC. It's basically a summary that shows two key things. First, all the VAT you've collected from your customers for the government, and second, all the VAT you've paid out on things you bought for your own business. The entire exercise is just about balancing those two figures out.
And this really shows the two sides of that coin perfectly. On one hand, you've got your output VAT. That's the tax you add to your sales invoices. You're basically collecting it for HMRC. On the other hand, you've got input VAT. That's the tax you pay when you buy things for your business. Like a new piece of equipment or software. Your whole VAT return is like a seesaw, just balancing these two to see if you owe HMRC or if, maybe, they owe you a refund.
Okay, let's get into our first practical step, and it is all about getting prepared. And honestly, when it comes to VAT, good preparation isn't just half the battle, it's pretty much the whole thing. Getting your records in order from day one will save you a world of headaches later on.
Now, this is really important to grasp. This isn't a friendly suggestion from HMRC, it's the law. The days of just logging into the government website and punching in the numbers manually, well, they're long gone. Every single VAT-registered business has to keep digital records and use software that can talk directly to HMRC systems. There's no way around it.
So, what do you actually need to pull together for each VAT period? Well, you'll need a complete and accurate set of records. We're talking every single sales invoice to figure out your output VAT, and all of your purchase invoices and receipts to work out your input VAT. Don't forget any credit notes you've sent or received, because they'll adjust your totals. And it's always smart to have your bank statements handy, just to cross-check everything and make sure you haven't missed anything, or worse, counted something twice.
Okay, so you've got your digital records all neat and tidy. Now it's time for the main event, the calculation itself. This might sound like the most complicated bit, but I promise you, when you break it down, it's actually incredibly straightforward.
This right here is the heart of the entire process, and it's just 3 simple steps. First, add up all the VAT you've charged on your sales. That's your output VAT. Second, add up all the VAT you're allowed to reclaim on your business buys. That's your input VAT. And finally, you just subtract number 2 from number 1. That's it. That final figure tells you exactly what you either owe to HMRC or what they owe back to you.
Let's put some numbers to this to see how it works in the real world. Say we've got a freelance web developer. During the quarter, they charged £2,000 of output VAT on their consulting services. They also bought a new computer for the business and paid £400 in input VAT on that. Now, their software license was 0 rated, which means no VAT was charged, so there's nothing to reclaim there. So you just take the £2,000 they collected, subtract the £400 they paid out, and the VAT they need to pay to HMRC is £1,600. See? Simple as that.
We are on the home stretch now. You've gathered all your records, you've done the calculation. The very last stage is to get that information over to HMRC and, of course, settle up.
Right. Deadlines are absolutely non-negotiable. For most businesses, you'll be on a standard quarterly cycle. The deadline to both submit your return and make sure the payment has actually cleared an HMRC's bank account is 1 month and 7 days after the end of your accounting period. So as you can see, for the quarter that ends March 31st, your deadline is May 7th. Seriously, put these dates in your calendar right now.
The VAT form itself can look a little intimidating with its 9 different boxes, but honestly, for most small businesses, you only need to focus on a few key ones. Box 1, that's your total output VAT. Box 4 is your claimable input VAT. The really important one, Box 5, shows the final number from our calculation, what you need to pay. And Box 6 is just the total value of your sales for the period, but without the VAT. Get those right and you're pretty much golden.
And just to really hammer this point home one more time, you have to submit this information using that MTD-compatible software. You can't do it any other way unless you've got a very specific exemption from HMRC. Tools like Xero, QuickBooks, or Free Agent are built for this. They link directly to HMRC systems and will send over the data from those key boxes we just talked about.
Okay, we've covered the how to do it. Now let's talk about the how not to do it. This part is so important because avoiding these common little traps is going to save you a massive amount of time, money, and, let's be honest, stress.
You've just got to be meticulous. Let's run through some of the most frequent errors we see. A huge one is applying the wrong VAT rate. Remember, not everything is the standard 20%. Another classic mistake is getting the split wrong on costs that have both business and personal use, like your mobile phone bill. You can only claim the business bit. A lot of people also don't realize you can't reclaim VAT on things like taking clients out for dinner. And of course, simple admin mistakes like counting an invoice twice happen all the time. But maybe the easiest way to get a penalty, just missing the deadline.
So here's a professional tip from the team at Fairview. The single best habit you can possibly get into is keeping your business and personal finances completely separate. Get a dedicated business bank account and a business credit card. It makes spotting those business expenses 1,000 times easier, and it is, without a doubt, the simplest way to avoid compliance headaches.
And what actually happens if you do get it wrong? Well, HMRC now has a points-based system for late submissions. For every late return, you get 1 penalty point. Once you hit 4 points, that triggers an automatic £200 penalty. On top of that, if you pay late, interest starts racking up from the very first day it's overdue. And after 15 days, a whole separate late payment penalty also kicks in. Believe me, the cost can add up very, very quickly.
Wow, we have covered a huge amount of ground here. So let's bring it all together and give you a clear, simple, actionable plan that you can take away from this explainer today.
Okay, here is your VAT action plan. First, make it a habit to check your rolling 12-month turnover every single month. See if you're getting close to that £90,000 threshold. Second, make sure you are fully set up with HMRC-approved Making Tax Digital software. Third, pause this. Go and put your future VAT deadlines in your calendar right now. And finally, remember, you are legally required to keep all of your digital VAT records for a minimum of 6 years.
Now, it's really important that we make this next point very clear. This explainer provides general guidance on UK tax rules. Everybody's circumstances are different, and professional advice should always be taken before you make any financial decisions.
Look, if you're feeling a bit stuck, or you just want that peace of mind that comes from having an expert take a look at your specific situation, please don't hesitate to reach out to the fantastic team at Fairview Accounting Services. They can give you advice that is tailored specifically to your business. And hey, if you found this explainer helpful, please do subscribe for more guides just like it.
So, to finish up, I'll leave you with a question to think about. Taking everything we've talked about today, what is the single biggest improvement you could make to your business's VAT process starting right now? Is it setting up those separate bank accounts? Or maybe just putting those deadlines in your diary? Sometimes just picking one thing to focus on can make all the difference. Thanks so much for watching.